lunchtime and we got to feed the boys. Today we're gonna show you how easy it is to make factor meals. Pop it open, poke some holes, 2 minutes in the microwave, she's done. Ooh, this is when I need some energy to get back to work. Let's get these heated up for the rest of the guys.
As the good weather starts to show its face this season, there is no better time for Factor. We have events, drift days, videos to film, and cars to build, so Factor helps us save time and money in the kitchen so that we can keep focused. Factor offers a multitude of options for different meals and snacks, keeping us fed and happy no matter what time of day or meal we're having. With their fresh, never frozen, chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals, we know we are eating healthier than we ever would at any fast food restaurant. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50JIMMYO to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50JIMMYO at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video.
What is up, everyone? So, back to work on the Porsche, the Ferrari, the hunk of metal that still looks like a Porsche. So in the last video you guys saw, I had to cut up the front, replate the frames in, and now we have to build off of it. We got all the rust away. Just about all the rust. So it feels like a good car. We got all that box in, everything's good. We have our jig from 2 videos ago. It's a little bit of a slow process, but it's because this stuff takes a long time. And well, in today's video, we're gonna start building the structure that actually bolts to our jig, which is the structure that our suspension will bolt to. Once this is built, we can put the radiator in, we can do all that, and move the heck on. But this is a big one. We got some fab work to do on this thing, but on top of that, we got some double fab work going on because the Pro car has some things that need to be done too, and that is actually fitting our Lexan or our polycarbonate windows in the car. You guys saw we put the Lexan, we call them, it's like saying window cleaners as Windex, right?
It's just the name.
It's a name, whatever. We got the quarter glass in, we have the rear glass in, now it is time for the door glass, which is a little bit trickier because this isn't just a bolt-in ordeal, at least in our situation. So, as you guys saw, we had fiberglass doors on the car. And well, we decided to go back to metal doors. They're not really that much heavier because there's not really much left
because
of them.
We gutted everything.
And we decided we're just gonna probably use the fiberglass door as a fiberglass skin because it makes our life a lot easier because there's a couple things that need to mount to this. The frame for the mirror. Without this, there's no hole for the mirror. There's a hole in the glass. It looks silly. And well, look, it bolts right in. Right, so it bolts into the OEM door, and the fiberglass door, we would have to make a giant structure for it, which would kind of like just
double the workload.
Double the workload, and the same thing goes for the glass. Now, there isn't anything to really mount the glass to in this thing, or our Lexan, but since it is metal, we can weld to it, and there is a structure in here that has some rigidity, right? See this structure right here to build off of versus the fiberglass doors where it's literally just a clamshell. So, we're gonna utilize those things. I don't hate the red right now. Kind of looks cool.
We actually turn this whole thing around, and when we paint it, we go back to that color.
That'd be the craziest turn of events. We've talked so much shit about this color, it's insane. So Spoon's jumped quite ahead on this thing, and well, we're getting somewhere on it. So the first thing you might notice is Spoon welded 2 big ass bolts on the inner structure of the door, which gave a solid foundation for the window itself. This ain't going nowhere. So we use that inner structure, weld the bolts, and we got it bolted on. But now, we gotta make sure this thing doesn't just get all flimsy, flop over the place, and go down the track. And you guys were saying in drag racing, the Lexan windows and doors will just like banana out.
Doors off, you know what I mean?
I thought blew the doors off was just a saying. I didn't realize that.
It's literal.
We don't want that to happen. So we are bringing in some drag race techniques right here and building a window frame. So we could order these little window frame kits that come with just this tubular structure, which Spoon is bending with a brake line bender.
And hand.
And hand.
And knee.
And
thigh.
So Spoon goes to the gym. So luckily he's able to do it with, look at it, with this thing. That's incredible. So bend it around and it's sick. The kits come with these little tabs to weld on. You see it? Which will allow us little bolt-on points for the glass. It was like 180 bucks. Just buy the kit. It's sick. Johnny suggested it. It's like a little arts and crafts, you know?
It's all fab is.
That's it, yeah.
It's all fab is. It's arts and crafts.
Just adult arts and crafts. You can buy these kits on like Summit. It comes with all the tabs to bolt the window to, and then mounting plates so you could mount this on the door itself and build the rod off of it. And then comes some little heims. Not a bad way to spend some money. Comes with a lot of hardware. Look at it. All right, well, I hope you guys aren't too sick of seeing the front of this car yet, but hopefully in today's video we can get the majority of it solidified. So, what do we have to do? We need to make a whole structure that bolts to our jig, that bolts to the chassis. This jig is to let us know where the lower control arm mounts, so we can add the new mounting point to our chassis. Damn, I should just buy the OEM panel now. That'd be a lot easier. Just like graft the OE panel back in, but new. Now we have the technology. Step one is figuring out the mounting point. So if you look at the original design, it looks like there's basically a thick washer and then a threaded source on the inside of it, right? So start with a thick washer, cut a strong threading point, and that will hopefully, that'll give us an idea of where to start. I was trying to find like threaded tubes or like threaded tube ends and stuff like that to work off of. Extremely hard to find online. So we're gonna make something. Now, the big problem is we need somewhere to attach to, and we need something that raises it a little bit because we have that little arch in there that we need to clear. We don't need the lower arm to actually be pressed against that arch. We just need it to be able to clear the lower arm. So I'm thinking, you know what I'm talking about? I think tubular structure look really cool. I know some guys are square stock kind of guys. We had that whole debate during the fuel cell. I was actually surprised at how many guys said they would have rather do square stock on the fuel cell.
I don't know, the round tubing just makes it look more high-end.
It looks higher and it looks newer, I think.
Yeah.
So square stock would be a lot easier on here. What do you even think about square stock? No, that's ugly. That would look so like backyard.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing tubular.
I mean, race car guys, they build tubular chassis. They don't build square stock chassis.
Yeah, but then you get like a Dodge Viper and it's made of box. You know, you ever see underneath a Viper?
No.
It looks like an S10. Find a picture of the Viper frame. Wild. All right, we're here at Little's Race Innovations Machine Shop.
Thanks, Johnny. I love you, Johnny.
Rent a lathe. So we need to cut the standoffs, and I need to make sure the cut is perfectly straight. And the easiest way to do that is just to cut it on the lathe. The bandsaw, it's gonna walk a little bit. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. So we'll use this.
This is as close to perfect as we can get.
Nice and easy. Machinist Jim at it again. Let's get to it. So we have our standoffs, and now we have to get threads inside of here. So we have the bolt holding it in place. This fits in nice and snug right here. See that? So I'm gonna keep a small gap here, and I'm gonna weld it all together, and the weld will fill this all in and tie it all together, and it'll be super strong.
Pretty. I like that.
Weld that to
and
that.
and around and down into it.
Yeah. I promise you, this is my first time doing it.
Arts and crafts, baby. Arts and crafts.
That was that's probably the only thing I was good at in school.
Were you? Did you like art class in school?
Yeah, actually did. It's probably one of my favorite classes.
Hot potato, hot potato.
Hot potato. So what we have here is basically just threaded rod ends, right? Simple concept, nice and easy. Name of the game was melting them together, so we put a lot of heat in here. Before we tie them into our structure, I'll throw them on the lathe and we'll cut down the weld so it looks all nice and pretty, but if you guys don't get what we're doing, this will give us now our mounting point onto our main structure. Now we got our little standoffs mounted to our jig. Nothing really fancy looking, but it gives us something to tie into. We have to tie these now into the chassis. Now, if you guys saw in the last video, we boxed in our factory lower rails, and this should be sturdy enough to actually allow us to tie into it. So there's a million different ways to do this, a million different ways to skin a cat. You guys know the same. You could plate them all together, run one bar, bridge them all individually with bars, and reinforce it everywhere. There's no wrong or right way on this one. As long as it's strong enough and looks good enough to be happy with, we did the right thing. I'm thinking we keep it nice and simple and, you know, basically tie it in like this. Now, we don't need them this tall because this looks really bad. They actually don't need to be that high at all. Realistically, they kind of have to be that tall. So it'll kind of just be like a little nub You see what I got? You see what I'm doing here? We're gonna bend the main bar up first. We're gonna take this with us. We're gonna use it as a template. Should we just do what we did for the jig and just jump on this thing on the lift until it like works? Johnny has the right size die for the tube bender, so we're gonna go bug Johnny. I got this real mundane task. It'll take you 3 minutes.
That's what they all say.
Tops. My buddy said he'll do it for 12 bucks. I think you could beat it.
It'd be like SpongeBob. 6 hours later.
All right, so we gotta do the main bend for what we were talking about. You know, this.
You're making the sleeves for these 4 or 6.
Yep. So
these are the 2 mains.
The 2 mains. So we're gonna make the bar that connects these.
Oh, you're gonna bend that one. Okay.
So this is the OEM piece. So we should theoretically be able to use this to find the angles, right? If it sits flush, it sits flush.
Yeah.
We could either do 1 bend, or we could do 2 smaller bends. It might look nicer. What are you thinking, Johnny? Let me hear it. Little's Race Innovations.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just show up every day.
I feel that. I just have a camera. 10 and a half. 10 and a half. Look at that, Johnny. She's straight. Let's add 2 10.5 degree bends. We got it marked out where we want our bends. They're really small, so it's gonna be just nice and clean. Simple.
So we just gotta double check it.
Yeah, because when we bend it to the degree that we want, but there is quite a bit of spring back, so we gotta make sure that we don't do too little or do too much. All right, let's play conservative. Come on, Johnny, hit that button.
We'll get it.
I think we could just.
We could probably just bend it.
do. Yeah, we could just do the. Here we go.
Bend it over your knee.
There you go. I doubt it.
Oh, you did?
Ooh, I got 0.3. I'm a strong lad. All right. He goes, eh.
9.9. I would say that's probably close enough.
Yeah, I'll say it's close enough.
Come on.
Oh, God. Nice. All right, so we did that to make sure that the bends are on the same plane, because we don't want one bend here and like one bend here. We want it both flat with each other. Oh, Johnny, you messed it up.
Well, when you tighten the bolt. Let's see if that matches.
Yeah, let's weld it in. How do we do, Johnny? How do we do? Pretty damn good. I think we
Not bad.
add a
I
little.
think this one just has. That one you probably got to take a tiny bit out of that one and put a little bit into this one.
Yeah, exactly. We're close though. Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome. Now beat it.
Okay.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yep. Take your crap with you, dude. I don't want this thing.
Oh man, he noticed.
He noticed.
He noticed. So we have our bar and we have it marked center to our bend. That's what we want. So we have to cut it to actually fit the car. Now the car isn't symmetrical, so we can't just like measure the width and cut it down. We have to get this bar centered. So I kind of rigged up this little plumb bob setup right here. That's center with the front, center with the back, so it gives us a center line. Use what you got, right?
That's ingenuity.
That's old tech. So now we can go. We can line it up this way, which is just about there. Then we have our center line. Line it up there. Look at that. A little bit of string will do a lot for you. I don't want to hear it from you.
I haven't even seen
Bro, you got
anything.
peanut butter on your mouth.
No, I
You're
just
crazy.
ate. Well, thanks for Austin for fucking telling me. He just clicked the button on the camera. Don't say nothing. Thanks.
This thing gonna fit right here. You see me?
I see the vision.
You see the vision? Okay, cool. So that's where that's gonna land, but our tie-in points, these things right here, they're ugly and they're too long. So let's put these on the lathe, trim these down, and then well, cut some height off. No more welds, just threads. Perfect. So we're gonna mark it where the center of the hole saw needs to go to get our correct height. And then this is hard, right? Because usually use a tube notcher, but you need a little bit of material to notch the tube. There's not much left, so we're gonna just do it in a very legit, very safe manner.
Professional machinist.
I'm professional make it worker.
Put that on the resume?
Put it on the resume. They're all notched, and I was able to actually weld the inside of the nut too to give it some more strength, so I'm really pumped about that. So, cool. Now we have the pieces. Now let's get these bolted back up and see how crooked I cut these things. Now it's time to see if we have to modify our notches at all, because we kind of went off the assumption that they're all gonna be straight. And I mean, that doesn't look too bad. We based the angle of this bar off of the old cutout section, which probably got stepped on and warped and stuff, because it's a slightly different angle than our jig. And so you can tell, since we made everything the same. So if we add more angle, it'll fill in this gap on the inside one, but we probably won't have enough tube. So what we could do is just bring down the outer just a little bit. It should bring it in spec. Oh, that's pretty damn good.
After some quick swapping.
Yeah, so I gotta bring this side down and we'll be good to go. If I only gotta adjust one out of all of that,
That's pretty damn good.
I'm not mad at myself. The bent up jig is making it look so unlevel.
Yeah, because you're like looking at this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. The chassis is not leveled on the lift, but squared up to the chassis, it is level. But there she is. Dude, it's like all that work just to get like half of the mounting points done. It looks cool. I'm hyped. That was a lot. That was a lot to get there. Obviously, it would have been really sick if I could have got. Well, I'm bleeding. Pre-threaded like rod and just notched a rod. That would have been dope, you know what I mean? But we're working with what we got. The lack of symmetry in the rails is gonna kill me. Like, see how it's higher here and not over there? It's all right. I would start laying some tacks. So I'm not gonna weld one thing at a time, or else heat can start making things move and fit weird. So I'm gonna kind of tack everything up real good, so we know when we're welding it, it's not gonna move everything.
That's so satisfying.
This glass doesn't scratch easily. Not with the hard coat. Regular Lexan, without the hard coat, scratches very easily. This stuff, really good. Don't have to PPF it, don't have to go crazy.
Yeah. But if you do have Lexan without that protective layer, you do got to be a little careful.
Yeah, but nah, this stuff's good.
Nice.
That looks so sick. You said this is stainless, right? So we wouldn't even have to paint it.
Yeah, technically you don't have to paint it.
I would leave it raw just like that. That looks so cool.
Just got back from Johnny's. I had to make more pieces. Walking into this without the blue on goes crazy.
It looks so sick, doesn't it?
I know, I love the tube stuff. I've been seeing Johnny do it on the drag car for years. I was like, I love the look. I knew I wanted to do it on this car. And then this little brace did quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, so that's just a tension rod to keep the top of the window in.
Yeah, because a lot of guys, you see a lot of the drift cars and their windows are just like this.
It's so crazy.
It looks like a drag car, and I mean that in like a cool way, you know?
What do you think this thing would do in a quarter mile?
I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm hoping it should, on this turbo, the limiting point of the drivetrain is the turbo. This one should make like a 5,900. Car should probably weigh, what do you think it's gonna weigh, like 26.5? Maybe 2,700, maybe a little heavier. We'll say 2,700 with, but
900 horsepower to 2700.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What do you guys think it'll do? I'd like to think I can get it.
That sounds like a.
I can get a low 10, if not break a 9.
I was gonna say, yeah, low 10, higher 9.
Higher 9. Yeah, that'd be fun, dude. We should like first test day we go drifting. The second test day we go to the drag strip. That'd be kind of sick. There she goes. We got glass on this side. We got the. This is a bad side. This is a bad fitment side.
I know, it kills me so much.
Don't look at that. It ruins it.
Gotta order slide outs.
Slide outs. Yeah.
Real race car shit.
I need mirrors too. And you know what kind I'm gonna get.
I don't know why you haven't ordered them.
I'm surprised that they're not in the
I leave for
office.
Japan in 2 days, and I need every spare dollar I have. So give me a second, all right?
Comes back from Japan with a set of mirrors.
I know, right?
They're cheaper in Japan. That's actually a great idea. I'll buy the mirrors in Japan. They're
On
a suitcase.
on the to-do list.
I bought an extra carry-on this time, so I can actually bring stuff home because I never bring stuff home. So if you guys didn't know that, I'm leaving for Japan. This might be. I think this is the last video you guys will see until I'm in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. Going to Japan. She's all welded up. It actually looks a lot cooler now that it's welded in than like it looked in my brain. The little standoffs and stuff I thought looked kind of stupid in my head, but I couldn't think of a better idea. That looks pretty sick. I can't wait to get the jig out of there and actually look at it. I'm stoked on that. I feel like I've been so hyper fixated on this stuff takes so long to do.
It's all custom.
Like I appreciate you guys watching 3 videos literally just about this nose thing, because there's not really much way around it unless we just don't post for a week, because it just takes so long. We get so hyper focused I almost forget to like be a part of the video. The main bar is in, and I wish we could say we're done, but we're not. At least I would say that's the hardest part of it. Now we got to tie some other bits in. So there is another mounting point up front, and I don't really know exactly what this does. It's kind of like it has like this washer underneath that like kind of ties itself into here. Factory has it. We're going to utilize it, so it's a little bit more work, but we'll make it look cool. So we're going to utilize the same concept as we did for the rear, and we're going to mount these in right here. So we don't have the biggest mounting point in the world for the front, but I'm not super worried about this piece really being the super structural bit of it, but I want to make it look cool. I decided to tie it into the rear bar because I think it'll help support the main structure of it quite a bit, and I think it'll look better. So I went over to Johnny's and I bent myself a nice 45 because I'm thinking something like that.
Okay.
That looks cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, that actually looks really good. And it adds a little bit of structural rigidity right there.
It starts to like look like an actual front subframe, and if we want to make it like look like super cool, we could always put like a smaller bar to connect the back, just to tie it all together without going OD, if that makes sense. We just got to get on our notch game. We have to get crazy with the notch game, you know what I mean? That's gonna be the hard part. The first step we gotta do is actually notch our mounting post.
Yep.
It's always,
that's what that is.
I love the P words, I guess, don't I? So we need this to sit in there. And well, I ruined the hole saw, so I'm gonna do this by hand and hopefully get this right. And then we'll stress about this one first before we stress about this one. Yep, okay. Many moments later, this is working out pretty good. I'm actually stoked. So this notch is a little wild, and then this notch, there's a couple angles in here. But check out that side.
See the vision.
Kind of fucking cool.
That's
right?
pretty fire.
And then, so this is, I have less room here than this side. So the hard part is I can't just make these bars symmetrical. So I have to center them where they align on this bar. So this one's a little bit tricky, but just about there. It's like one of those things like balancing the looks and the function of it, right? It's gotta look like it functions. I know that it sounds kind of wild to say, but it's like it's a fact. Obviously you could put a plate in here and just put a bar across and it'll work, but I don't know. Gotta add some flavor, and I think this kind of gives it like a nice, almost like OEM style look. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. That looks sick.
That's awesome. That ain't bad for a day's worth of work.
Not bad for a day's worth of work. Running around, grinding metal. Well, let me clean her up a little bit and just tack it and never think about it again. How about that? Cool as fuck. It's not bad. It actually looks way like cooler than I thought it was gonna look. I was nervous it would look kind of dorky in there.
Nah, it's pretty good. Good job.
Thank you. I can't wait to take the jig off. We gotta let it cool down fully before we take the jig off. We don't want anything to move. And then we'll get a good look, because like this conduit and shit underneath is ruining the vibe. Let's let her cool down and well, see what she looks like. There we go. Get rid of the jig. How's it look?
It looks so cool.
I'm hyped. I love that. It looks sick. It looks like aftermarket enough, but not too atrocious, and that's with us not like cleaning it up yet. Because obviously we gotta clean all this metal up. While this clean this, we'll cut this nice and clean, and it'll do a lot for it. But that was a big hurdle, and I'm excited. This is really cool. We already took it off, and I already oohed and awed about it. we staged it for the camera, but I'm hyped on this. It actually like follows the energy of this really, really well. I was so tempted to like tie it into this just to make it look extra race car, but I think we're pretty good here. So clean up the metal, make the radiator mounts, and then we can start to prep this thing for paint and get the front sealed, because there's not much more beyond mounting the radiator and cleaning up the metal. So
Let's pipe some holes.
get rid of some rust. Maybe put some hood pins in it. It doesn't need hood pins. We got a factory latch, but I think
I feel like it would match the vibe.
I think I used to be so anti-hood like latches, but like they look kind of cool. Let us know what you guys think. Should we put some quick latches on here?
I might say something a little controversial, but I kind of feel like the pin ones,
Oh,
like the
like
old school
stringy
ones,
ones?
would like fit the
With
vibe
the
of
little
this.
wire, like you have to have a
Yeah,
little
the wire
with
too.
it.
Yeah.
You might as well use Seuss fasteners on some over fenders then, you know what I mean? Full carbon nose. Let's just go, you know? Like,
Slant nose.
slant nose. It's real easy to mess up a slant nose.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, for sure.
Like if you get too Miami style with it, let me know what you guys think. Slant nose.
Slant nose is cool.
That's the rabbit hole. We're talking about hood latches, and all of a sudden we go to slant nose. Like,
I mean, do you want to be cool or do you want to be cool?
but for now, just to make it feel like we really accomplished something, let's get the front suspension out and verify it actually bolts on before I get too excited about this structure.
Yeah, plus the this lift is sketchy.
Yeah, we could definitely use some weight in the front of it.
That's a pretty good test.
You gotta say it.
Yep, ain't going nowhere. Can you fit through there or not? You feeling strong, punk? Moment of truth. I'm gonna do that by hands and not the impact. All right, last bolt. That's so cool. So this is that big silly plate I kept referencing. I should have showed you guys earlier in the video so you understand why I was making this third point, but this acts as kind of like a brace and a washer between the 3 points. So does our third point line up? That is the big one, right? That's so sick. There you go.
Good job.
Not bad, right?
Hell yeah.
That could have really easily been not right. And then this plate will help tie these bars together even more, so that thing should be super sturdy. Very, very excited this is done now. Now it'll be like more fun stuff. This was more like stress than it was fun. It's fun when you're done.
More
like,
rust. All the mounts are good.
now it's making some brackets and making it look pretty. That's cool. All right, well, you guys saw me do a bunch of cutting and talking, but we finally have some results, which is huge. Very excited. Now we can move on to the next step, which will start to really bring it together. Circling back to the Pro car. This looks incredible. It's bringing it together. We just measured for the chassis harness, so when I get back from Japan, we should have the chassis harness, which means we can get it all in. We have the engine harness, we can get the thing running, and we should be very, very close to a dyno day and then the test day.
That's crazy to think about.
Our deadline, our first comp is first week of June. Seems far away, but it comes up quick, so we'll see. Still got to pick a color. I think we know what color we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So we'll get this thing in color ASAP, and I just want to hear it. I want to hear it so damn bad. Like, it's my first 342J, first dog box. I can't wait the first time I go and just go kunk.
Can't wait to hear the straight cut gears.
Straight cut, exactly. Just noisy, pretty weapon. You know what I mean? The pretty ones are always noisy. You know what I mean? It always kind of. You know? This looks incredible. So next time you see it, this will be complete, full glassed in, huge, and some huge progress to be made. But in less than 24 hours, I'm heading back to Japan finally. I usually go in the spring and fall. I almost forgot it was April. Like last week, I was like, oh my god.
It's time to go back.
It's Matsuri time, and so Matsuri is always the perfect excuse to head over to Japan and have some fun. This is usually like my one like vacation for the year. a lot goes on and it captures a lot of work, but it's the closest thing I get to it, and I cannot wait. Japan is it's like my favorite place in the world to visit. I got a lot planned, so hopefully it all works out, and I hope you guys are excited for it. If there's anything you guys want to see specifically in Japan, let me know. We're gonna be at Ebisu for a week. I'll try not to make it too Ebisu-y drifty. We'll find some cool side stories I think you guys will enjoy. And we got the white S15, as you guys remember, waiting for me, and if it all works out, we're gonna head down to Osaka and play with the green car again that we haven't seen in a year. So I'm excited, but for now, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.